Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Savvy Night People's TV. It's Friday. I should have a game on my birthday every year. Come on. I enjoyed that game last night. Properly enjoyed watching a game of football that Manchester United are involved in. Genuinely, it feels like it's been a while. I know we beat Everton 4-0 earlier under Amorim, but that game last night for me was the best game that we've had under Amorim. Don't come at me that they went down to 10 men. It doesn't matter. I still think we played well. Still think there were fundamentals that happened before the red card and after the red card. We'll speak about it all. Speak about Højlund, Zirkzee, Bruno, Dorgu, Heaven, the Pyro. They're having the Stratford end. That was funny. And we're also going to have a conversation about Quenda. Chelsea effectively child snatching during the middle of the night. Quenda to Chelsea. We've got the here we go from Fabrizio. Took us all by surprise. I'm going to run through and have a conversation about that because United are going to have to look elsewhere for a new right wing back if we're going to bring one in, which, yeah, we absolutely are. Full kit today, is it? Yeah, it's kind of like full kit wanker, actually. It's cold up in here. Right, who's here from the mods and the member gang? Let me say hello to everybody before we get into what is going to be a very busy and I think largely an enjoyable show. I've certainly still got a smile on my face from last night. Good morning to the legends. Oh, wow, the legends, man. JC kicking off the show on a Friday, very vibey, with 20 gifted memberships, and Alex coming in strong there as well. I was about to message you, Alex, and I didn't. We haven't had a conversation in a while. And the focus of today's show will be around the game last night. There's so many talking points, but I have to start with this, right? Woke up at 6:30. Let's do a bit of that. Huh? That's right. It's got to be a parody account. No, that's really Fabrizio Romano saying, Quenda to Chelsea, here we go. And let's run through the details first, all right? Chelsea agree a deal to sign Geovany Quenda. Medical done for him. He will join Chelsea in 2026. No, you've not read that wrong. He's not joining them this summer. They're allowing him to stay at Sporting for another year. More details here from David Ornstein. Yep, 17-year-old winger, and they're calling him a winger. That's what they're saying he's going to be. Joins next season. 7-year contract, plus one to an 8-year contract. The fee's good. There's nothing wrong with the fee. If somebody talk to me in the comments here. Honestly, you've got Chelsea. There is a reason why I hate Chelsea. I just hate everything that club is and has been since Abramovich came in. What's going on here is this feels like one of the most underhand deals that you're ever likely to see. Right? How many wingers do Chelsea even have? I don't even know. They got Neto, they've got Madueke, you've got Gusto and James who could play at the right back. They don't actually have any wing backs, so they're going for wingers. Chelsea are hoarding. This is nothing more than a hoarding sort of issue. If people are saying audio issues, I will always say refresh. Mine is fine. It's not my problem. Well, yeah, it's not my problem, but I don't know why people keep doing that. They're just not used to it. Anyway, refresh and you'll be sweet. I don't know why YouTube does that. Quenda, I don't know what his representatives are doing. I think it's Jorge Mendes who's his representative, his agent. It's just a nuts move. You know what's hilarious as well, is this. Quenda said yes to Chelsea's project and Enzo Maresca's plans. Who wants to put a bet on with me right now that by the time he joins Chelsea, Enzo Maresca isn't their manager? I could put a lot of money on that. It's basically a guarantee. You wouldn't get very good odds. Because there's no way, absolutely no way in hell that Maresca is going to be Chelsea manager by the time he actually joins next summer. No, you know that's a guarantee. It's something that United can't compete with, all right? United can't, and this is, I think I've said this to you a while ago, and this is kind of evidence of it, that deals can be agreed outside of windows. Now, of course, Quenda can't be registered to play for Chelsea. The money can't be exchanged, but kind of a pre-agreement can happen, right? Either way, for him to be advised to join Chelsea and an 8-year contract and however many players they've got, and the fact that the manager won't be there is no project at Chelsea. There is none. Absolutely nada. Now, you might say that United are in a worse position right now, but the vision at our club is clear. And has been for, well, not for a long time, but it feels like I can explain where United want to be in a year's time, in 18 months' time. You can't do that at Chelsea. Otherwise, I think it's ridiculous advice from his representatives to choose Chelsea. And that one there, the fact that he's going to join a year later, United couldn't compete with that. We were never going to give him an 8-year contract or let him stay at Sporting for another year. So effectively what they've done is they've just come over the top, slapped it on the table. And it happened in the middle of the night. You ever seen anything like that? It was announced at what? 4 o'clock in the morning. What a strange one. What a strange one. As I said, I fundamentally despise Chelsea Football Club. We can't compete with that, so that's Quenda off the cards. Right, let me go and read some of your comments out down here about him. Well, not about him, but just about that shock, I suppose. Gungshi gifting 10, I see you down there. Akash saying, Romano said FFP was a big factor why United can't move fast. Hey, dude, man, it's got nothing to do with FFP right now. It's nothing to do with the fact that not at all. I'm not even sure the money will be paid until the summer. In fact, if you go down there, I guarantee you it even says it. Let's have a quick look. There's nothing really there. I don't know if anything's going to be exchanged until the summer. It's just Chelsea being Chelsea. Someone down there, maybe United said they won't match the price on the contract. United would not match. You'd go nuts if United gave somebody an 8-year contract. And Sod knows what the wages are, but I guarantee you they offered him more than what we would have offered him, given that we offered, and I think we got Dorgu on 40 grand a week, remember? Something like that. Alex, you're talking about this isn't the first player to slip through the net and won't be the last. Klopp wanted Brand, Edwards got Salah instead. Maybe United go after. Yeah, we're going to be doing, look, we've got an international break coming up, so probably it's an opportunity for us to explore other right wing-back alternatives. You could look internally towards Camerson or Mantato, and of course Ahmad. There are alternatives. Quenda seemed like a sure thing for me. It felt like a sure thing. And again, we go back to... Remember that United, it was in January when Ornstein said United are already exploring the deal. So United didn't just sit there and wait and then go, oh my God, we got completely caught out. United had this conversation back in January. United were already working on this behind the scenes. It's just that Chelsea came over the top, surprise, sneak attack, child snatching, middle of the night. Here's an 8-year contract. You can stay at Sporting for another year. All right, we don't actually need you now. We have no concept of what a plan is, but we think probably that point there, he's going to come and be a good player for us. You can be part of Enzo Maresca's plans, even though the fact that he's not going to be your manager at that point in time, and it might not even have the same owners. But yeah, that's the best thing to do for your career. That's what I mean. That's some really bad advice from Jorge Mendes, but agent probably got a massive underhand payment for something like that. Shocking? Yeah, well, that's shocking. It was a shock. But United will find someone else. I just think he's going to massively regret that. But here's what it is, right? Russ, you're talking about Frimpong. Yeah, Frimpong could be an alternative. I think he's available for 40 million euros. Not too far off the price of Quenda. But if Kenda's left-footed, and if you look at the Amorim system, he loves that right wing-back to be on the left foot because he cuts inside quite a lot. It's a different sort of body shape. And you've kind of seen it with the body shape of Dorgu and Heaven, how much that sort of opens up that left-hand side. Anyway, we'll move on from that because there's so much to talk about from last night, but it had to be the opening talking point here. Very strange. Yeah, I've seen that as well down there in the comments. Congratulations to Rashford. He's in the England squad. First time since... I don't know when. think it must be like 2024, something like that. I'm guessing it's happened before, and it's just I haven't recognised it. But there's no United player in that England squad. Has that happened before? It probably has. I just haven't cared to notice. Either way, congratulations to Rashford. It doesn't change anything. Doesn't change the fact that it was the right decision for him to leave. Doesn't change the fact that it was the right decision for Anthony to leave. I don't care what Anthony does at Betis. I don't care what Rashford does at Villa. We were not going to see either of those players do those things in a Manchester United shirt. And some fans still can't grasp that concept. They think, oh, look at what Rashford's doing there. He would have done that in a United shirt. It wouldn't, which wouldn't have done it. I've got no idea why Jordan Henderson is in that squad. He must have nudes. Oh, yeah, there you go, actually, Damien. Fair enough. Maguire and Cobby would both be in there if they weren't injured. But that's what I mean. Technically, Rashford's still a United player. I don't remember the last time I saw an England squad without a United player in it. I disagree down there to people talking about FFP. FFP's got absolutely sweet FA to do with this. This is just Chelsea coming curveball, knocking on the back door, offering a huge contract. You can keep him for another year, simply to come over the top and take. And it's just a swoop. That's all it is. It's just a steal. It strikes me as a very underhand transfer. You can almost predict that Chelsea are going to try it. I wouldn't be surprised if this happened. If this summer Chelsea try to find some sort of way to get out of paying the money they owe us for Sancho. It just wouldn't surprise me to see if that happened. That Chelsea try to send him back. That Chelsea don't want to pay the obligation, and that it goes through some sort of like contract tribunal. It just wouldn't surprise me. It just wouldn't surprise me with Chelsea. Rex is saying, with Chelsea hoovering up wingers, Sancho's view on that club and their project, they're looking pretty sick. I don't care. Look at that. I hate everything that crappy football club stands for, man. Everything that is wrong with the modern game, you can look at them at the root of it. They got an owner who just stole assets from Russia. He's an oligarch who came in with millions and billions of money that he didn't. I don't care about making profit. I've stole the money anyway. Let's just have some fun. Go on then, 100 million, 200 million, 300 million. Buy it all. Buy it all. I don't care. What do you mean I've got to leave the country? Oh, well, never mind. See you later, Chelsea. Don't need the money back because I stole it anyway. And they think that's now how football clubs should be run. I just hate that football club so much. I hope they fold. Anyway, they're not getting away my mood. They're not taking my mood down, as annoying as it was. Garlic Brimman, I can see you down there gifting 10 memberships as well. Everyone's getting vibey this morning. All of you, please join the Discord. Get involved. Alex, I'm sure that you're running some cool stuff on there now, some trivias. Joe's getting involved. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the game, please. I don't want to get caught into like a half an hour conversation about Quenda, because there's too many good things to speak about from that match last night. Let me know what you think in the comments, all right? Because look, fair play for TRA that they can take the piss out of themselves for that. But it wasn't like a big song and dance made about it, but there was an excitement about the pyro that was going to come before the game. And they spent about $5,000 on it. And then we were talking about, there's going to be some fireworks, going to be some pyro, it's going to be a bit of a show, we're going to create some atmosphere. And it was like, Anyway, I don't think they'll be doing that again. The intention was good. But it wasn't quite there. But last night, in terms of the overall team performance, I think that was the best showing I've seen under Ruben Amorim. And we didn't see anything groundbreakingly new or different. We just saw players executing what Amorim has been asking of them a bit better. That's what we saw last night. Now, in terms of the Europa League draw, this is where we're at. United are playing Lyon. I think the first leg's away, don't really know. We've got Lyon in the quarterfinals, and if we beat Lyon and get through, we're going to face Rangers or Athletic Club in the semi. Both of them you'd be difficult away games, but we're in the quarters and the semis of a European competition now. You're not going to get easy games. Final, you're looking at probably Tottenham or Frankfurt. You don't quite know, but that's the route to the final now. And like Old Trafford, I don't know whether this is just me overthinking it, but it feels like Old Trafford yesterday, and I don't know how long this will last. It's probably very fresh now. But because of the announcement of the new stadium, there's a clock now counting down on how many nights you still get at Old Trafford. And the crowd was up for it. That's why the pyro was there in the first place. So the atmosphere from the beginning was great. Even when we went 1-0 down, great response to come back. And then from there, it was just United built momentum more and more and more. And that's exactly how I would describe it. You showed a little glimpse. A little glimpse of the future. With some problems of what we've got now, but a glimpse of the future. And yeah, there was nothing groundbreakingly new last night. Amorim didn't introduce a new system that goes, oh, wow, that worked better than anything's ever worked before. It was just that the players just played better. They played more aggressive. They were more physical. They were more athletic. Having Dorgu and Heaven on the left made a big difference. Højlund up front, probably one of his better. I mean, it is as far as a striker can go without scoring. It's one of his best games in that sense. Really good performance from him in that sort of isolated role. Zirkzee, so good, man. So good. Bruno, a hat-trick. So I mean, performances all over the pitch. It was kind of a team performance. Siraj is talking about the players that were brought in for Amorim's system, and I'll speak about those next, but you're damn right I'm going to start this conversation by talking about Bruno. All right? Sigmund, I can see you down there, man. How you been? It's been a while. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships, and thank you for still being here, man. Bruno, someone talk to me about him. Anybody who's followed United People's TV for long enough will know I have permanently stood in the corner of Bruno. And it hasn't mattered to me what people have said, what's happened. I've always supported our captain. Same can't be said for everyone. And it's always confused me. Now, I didn't need that last night for the Bruno lecture is here. Yeah, you're damn right, actually, Akash. You're damn right. Because I do think United fans need lecturing on where the fuck to point your fingers. Because it's not him. It's not him. It's like take your pick at the crapness at our club. Take your pick at where you want to be negative and get angry about. It's the wrong direction. It really is the wrong direction. This cracked me up. Did you see that last night? Is that going to cover that? Oh, there you go. This was his hat-trick ball. And look at some of the messages. How much did you pay the ref was one of the messages. And whoever wrote this, we need to find out. You were still shit in the first half. That's funny. That's funny. And it's good. That's what I mean. That's what felt different about that game yesterday. The sort of game you can come out, you can laugh, you can enjoy it. These sorts of things. That you just rarely, that's what I mean, but we rarely have enjoyed a full game of football. Even when we've won a game, it feels like we've been punched in the face 6 times. But Bruno, he could have left. And he used that and leveraged it and negotiated it and got a new big bumper contract. Not everybody was happy about that. Do you want to know a stat that's mad? I had to do a double take on this because I was like, nah, there's no way that's true. Bruno Fernandes has the most goals and assists combined of any player in the Europa League. Now, on the one hand, that's impressive. On the other hand, my God, he's been playing too much Europa League. Can United stop playing in the Europa League and get this bloke in the Champions League? My word. So it's like, it's equally as impressive, but also as much of like, well, yeah, it's because United have played so much bloody Europa League. Either way. We need to get to the point where Bruno is at this club, and Amorim said this in his post-match press conference. He was like, we have to get to the point where we're competing for titles whilst Bruno's still in this team. He does deserve it, man. He really, really does. Tell that to Keena. I already did a video on the opinions of pundits and their role in shaping the narrative around players. I honestly think that the likes of Keane, to a certain degree anyway, the likes of Keane, Scholes, Neville, Rooney, I don't think they're completely aware of how influential their voices and opinions are. I think, of course, they've got an awareness of how influential they are, but I just don't think they quite understand the scale of it. I think like Bruno's a perfect example of this. Connor, you're saying if we go on to win the Premier League in the next 3 to 5 years, Bruno will be remembered as the modern Brian Robson. Older fans may hate that, but it'll be his legacy. I don't think you can go as far as that. But, I mean, if you think about Brian Robson and the time that he went through, that was when United weren't competing and Brian Robson was there every single week grafting. Is that probably what your sort of comparison is? That in a team that wasn't right up at the top and wasn't competing, you had someone like Brian Robson, you have someone like Bruno Fernandes who's really just committing everything to the football club to try and drag it upwards. I think that's probably what you're sort of getting at, and in that sense, I do understand that. Either way, love the bloke. But let's talk about the long-term future of this club and the players like Dorgu, players like Heaven. Dorgu, let's speak about him yesterday. I'll cover this in a little bit more detail in my lunchtime video. Man, we've got a busy few days coming up. Jeez. Whew. It is more than full-time, this, permanently. Anyway, at least we've got some good stuff to talk about today. What a difference having Dorgu and Heaven on that left-hand side made. I'll speak about them both individually. But Dorgu in particular, and this was the big difference, and I've been screaming it for so long that it's just become kind of painful speaking to United fans about it, because sometimes they just don't want to listen. Not all of them. Not all of you, sorry, but just in general. About Amorim's system being too defensive. Yesterday was an example of how simple it is to turn a defensive system into an attacking one. And all you have to do is get your wing-backs to have higher starting positions. That's what Dorgu did. That was the one big shift I saw yesterday in terms of how United played the game. You had Heaven, De Ligt and Mazraoui really quite spread and quite split as a back three, quite high. And then Dorgu's starting position, much higher up the pitch. He was almost like a left winger. That ball in behind from Zirkzee that got the red card, and so many other occasions where Dorgu was the outlet. They couldn't really mark him. They couldn't, because he didn't have enough defenders at that point. He was always the free man. I thought this was quite funny, actually. Amorim speaking about, right at the end when I thought it was the however many penalties we got in that was nuts. There was one penalty away, then 1, 2, 3 penalties. So 4 out of the 6 goals were penalties, I think. Darkrai, you're saying, Sam, isn't Dorgu a bit rusty? I'm like, dude, if you think Dorgu's rusty, well, then how good could he be then? Dorgu is immediately settled in because we signed him for a very specific reason in a very specific role that perfectly complements and suits him. And he's got the out-of-possession attributes that I think, let's be totally honest, like every footballer should just have the athlete, the strength, the power. It was pace and power galore yesterday down that left-hand side. Made a big, big difference. And having this lad, and again, Amorim had a choice yesterday. Could have played Lindelof as a left-sided centre-back, or Mazraoui as a left-sided centre-back and played Lindelof on the right-hand side. Could have done that. Or he could take a bit of a gamble. I mean, it would have been a gamble either way. There's less gamble in Lindelof because you've got the experience of it. There's also a gamble of the fact that he's just not as good a player as Heaven is. Heaven yesterday, like, if you look at the first 3 appearances that he's had in a United shirt now, came off the bench against Fulham in the FA Cup, came on at half-time against Arsenal in the Premier League, and then started in the Europa League. Did he complete the full 90? I think he completed the full 90. Can't remember if he came off. I don't think he did. He was signed for £1 million, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what our football club needs to be able to do. If you can do that once a year, even once a year, would make such a difference. If you can somehow do that twice a year, boy, you speed things up in terms of building a squad. Really, really does. Heaven was just excellent yesterday. Everything, and I'll be honest, in that first half, I don't think they specifically targeted that side because Heaven was playing, because it could have been anybody else. But he was probably far more involved in that first half than he thought he would be. Was it Kubo? The little tricky winger was trying to go in and out the whole time, but he stood up to it. Got beaten a couple of times, but Dorgu was there covering him. It was really, really good from him, as far as I'm concerned. Let me go read some of your comments out here. Hi, well, you're saying it looks very good, looks very composed for an 18-year-old. Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I mean. Signed for $1 million. Gary, you're talking about Branthwaite. You're not going to get them all right. Okay, you are not going to get them all right. But Aiden Heaven, in the early showings, early viewings, that's a really good spot. Was it just United taking advantage of a contract situation? Maybe, potentially. Don't know why I did. Don't know why I made the run, but keep doing that, man. Keep looking around the academies. Look at City's academy. Look at Liverpool. Look at Chelsea's academy. They don't give a toss about it. There will be players that you can spot and cherry pick and take advantage of bad situations that exist at those clubs. That's football. That's football business. And I don't think Aiden Heaven is upset that he made that move. At Arsenal, he made his debut in the League Cup against Preston. Since he's joined United, he's made his FA Cup debut, his Premier League debut, and now his Europa League debut, and he started the game. And now when you're looking at this game against Leicester at the weekend, would you take him out of the team? Why would you take him out of the team? Why would you change too much, really, considering it's our last game until the 1st of April? We've got a big gap coming up. I wouldn't take him out of the team. Stephen, he's saying he looks like a 27-year-old. It didn't look like his debut. It didn't look like his Premier League debut either. That's the best compliment you can give to a defender as well, because there were a couple of moments where he drove through spaces, but I was impressed. We need more of that. And speaking of players I was impressed with last night, little round of applause here for Zirkzee. Zirkzee's had a rough ride since he's joined United. I mean, we can't score for toffee. He was signed, as far as some United fans were concerned, as a striker. He can't score goals. He looks heavy. He looks like he's not settled well. And then he had the Newcastle moment. Since the Newcastle moment, Zirkzee has just been progressively on an upward, just getting better, more confident, and fitter. It's not just about the fitness, it's about the sharpness. That's what I would say about Zirkzee's game that I really enjoyed yesterday. Things look sharp. Like all the research, all the games I watch of him at Bologna and all the time, and understanding his game, quite a lot of that hadn't translated to United. Now it is. Zirkzee is an enabler, and Zirkzee is one of those number 10s, has a mad blend of physicality, Like at 6'4", you shouldn't be moving the ball in that sort of fashion. It's just not. It's not natural to a player of that stature, and that's what makes his profile unique. Because it's like an anomaly, if you want to call him that. I'm delighted for him. There is a definite place for Zirkzee in this squad as one of the number 10s. Is he going to be a goal-scoring phenomenon at this club? No. There's something that Amorim said about him after the game. He goes, look, he's much more aggressive when he doesn't have the back, and he means his back to goal. So whenever Zirkzee receives the ball, but he can drive at a defender, that's when you get more out of Zirkzee, because he's an enabler. He's one of the number 10s, not a number 9. He's improving a lot without the ball, but in some ways, I think he can be more direct. It doesn't need to be the most beautiful goal. And that's just Amorim helping Zirkzee to develop and think about what the right thing to do is. But Zirkzee is developing, man. We need goals. Zirkzee scored away at Sociedad. He does have goals, but he's going to score those sorts of goals. Arriving on the edge of the box. First time stroke it in. Nice. Had a couple of shots yesterday as well. I'm going to go and read some of your comments out about Zirkzee. What do you think about our performance? And can somebody please send me a slow-mo video of that touch on the sideline? Because that was like Berbatov. You know exactly what touch I'm talking about. I don't even know what to call it. Step over, stop it on a touchline, dink it over the defender's foot, and then square it for Ronaldo to score. Nuts. Stephen, you're talking about the way he's responded to that sub against Newcastle. Yeah, adversity can break people, or adversity can wound people, and they come back stronger because they've learned from that. That's exactly what he's done here. We just have enough on the wings, and all we now need is a prolific striker. I'm not saying that this. I don't think this squad is complete in terms of the number 10s. I still think we need to sign a number 10. But so many, again, this is just how football fans work. So many people were ready to write Zirkzee off by January time. Is that fair? About then. People were just completely dismissing. He's got absolutely no future at this football club. Never, ever, ever make your judgment on a Manchester United player in their first season. It's just not the right thing to do. It's not Captain Hindsight speaking here. This is a fucking hard club to play for, man. Like the hardest. We've seen so many victims, so many casualties of that. And I'm just enjoying watching him. I really, really am. Stevie saying Zirkzee was so much quicker live. Can't believe this was my first European game in 3 years. Jeez, I can't tell you my last European game. I was going to go last night, but I ballsed up the tickets. Well done, Sam. Royston, gifting 5. Come on. Yeah, Glenn, I agree. Zirkzee is looking a bit slimmer. I think he's just... His frame wasn't suited to the Premier League. You remember that time when Lukaku came back from the World Cup with Belgium and he had put on like a few kilos of muscle and he couldn't move. He could not move because that stature, it might work for international football, but it did not work in the Premier League, and he had to shift it all before he even slightly looked good again. Lukaku. Wah, wah, wah. Right, let's move on to speak about the actual striker. Because again, I think Højlund deserves real credit for how he played yesterday. There were, it feels like 3 or 4 times where a ball was like, just like 2 yards too long, or Zirkzee's through ball that just got intercepted, or a ball that was just behind him. And it was frustrating. But I think Højlund yesterday physically played a lot better. And that's been one of my biggest frustrations with Højlund in the last 8 weeks. He's just been getting kind of bullied off the ball. And it's meant that he hasn't been able to have any hold-up play whatsoever. Yesterday, very unlucky. That one where Zirkzee danced through and then he cut it back to Højlund. Was it offside? Don't know whether it was offside. Skirted the post. That chance, I think it was Garnacho who laid it for Højlund on the edge of the box, and he went whoop. It kind of spooned off his foot and then went to Dorgu. But it was a really good assist right at the end. Nice bit of skill. Skip past his player. Good cutback. And I think it still does feel like that. Once he's got one, then the rest will follow. But it's just been that long since a goal, which is bloody hell. We don't know. It's what Ruben Amorim said about him after the game. We play with 2 number 10s. We need one player to push the team to make the runs, and Højlund is doing that and helping the team a lot. He made 3 or 4 connections today, and that's something that Amorim keeps reiterating. Even when he's speaking about the goal that we scored away at Sociedad, he was speaking about how his run away gave space for Zirkzee to go into. So Amorim's looking at the connections that Højlund helps within the team. And effectively what Amorim is trying to do is trying to find positives to keep Højlund sort of working and so he's not like completely disconnected and completely lost. And I think yesterday, I think he played much better. Still didn't get that goal, but much, much better. I'd love for him to go and bag away at Leicester, and then we have an international break. Goes, right. Well, he's going. I think is he in the squad for Denmark? I'm going to presume he is. Maybe a couple of goals for Denmark could do it as well. I don't know. But yesterday, in comparison to how Højlund has been playing for us, I thought he actually played better. Still no goal, but we won 4-1. So let's find out. Who else are we speaking about? Garnacho. And something that Amorim said after the game, I just thought was interesting. He said, look, you showed me many things on the right-hand side, and it might be better than on the left. I'm still learning about the team. I think we've spoken about this. When you get Garnacho on the right-hand side, you take away a little bit of his natural instinct to just constantly shoot. Because you take away those angles from him. And by doing that, you force Garnacho to play football a little bit differently. So heads up, think about the cross, or heads up, put it on the edge of the box. And I don't know whether that's what he means when he says that he's seeing something that he enjoys, but Garnacho, he's tracking back. I do think he's a bit better on the right-hand side. Do I think that we could do better than that? I do think United will sign a number 10 in the summer. Somebody who can probably play on the left-hand side or the right-hand side as one of the inside forwards. But I also agree that Garnacho actually looks better on the right-hand side. And I can't remember what team it was against. You remember it was in the FA Cup. Was it Wigan? Is it FA Cup or was it League Cup? Was it last year? I can't remember exactly. It was the first time that we saw Garnacho play on the right-hand side. And that's the one where he cut across into Højlund, who missed from like 3 yards with a header. And I think he hit the bar with it after he cut in on the left-hand side, cut in onto his left foot from the right-hand side. Fair play. And I also think that he's right in that Garnacho is actually a bit better on that right-hand side. Ahmad and Zirkzee is the 2 number 10, says Oscar. It's going to be very interesting to see where Ahmad's position is next year. Because conceivably, United could look at Ahmad as the long-term right wing-back option and invest in an inside forward. I personally think I'd rather see Ahmad further forward and someone who's a bit more of a physical Dorgu level athlete playing as the wing-back behind him. Because Ahmad, is as strong as he has gotten, he's much improved. He's not quite got... He doesn't have the physique. I'm saying that Quenda isn't exactly that much bigger, but I would personally rather see Ahmad further forward as one of the right inside forward, and we sign a wing back rather than the other way around. Quite a few of you are saying that Ahmad's played better at wing back. It is an option. It's an option. All right. You know, I do have options there, and a couple more internally. Casemiro. There you go, Nishant. You know exactly what I'm speaking about next. Casemiro's been playing good these last few games, man. He deserved that little round of applause towards the end of the game. And again, Amorim speaking after, going, look, I'm kind of learning about these players. I'm now learning that Casemiro really shouldn't be, pressing forward. Keep Casemiro a little bit deeper. I mean, I don't know why you had that many games to learn that about him. The funniest part about Casemiro last night was that when Dalot tried to hold the ball so it went out and it didn't go off, and then Casemiro just came sliding in. He just stared at him like, What was that, mate? You're doing that again? I'll kill you. That was a proper, like, cut to the soul stare from Casemiro. But he played well, man. Once you get a system where Casemiro doesn't have to run everywhere, it's better. Casemiro's better. Saying that, the same thing happened against Sociedad in the first game when they skipped past Bruno and Casemiro. That's where our space was. We need an all-purpose power central midfielder this summer, man. We really, really do. Yeah, Brian. Doesn't change anything. Casemiro will still be leaving Manchester United in the summer, but I'm enjoying watching a Casemiro swan song. And for the end of the season, I would love for him to keep this form the whole way up. That's what I would like to see. Because it's definitely making us a better team right now. Pyro saying, Sam, who would you compare Zirkzee to? Past and present player. As I can't, he's got a unique set of skills. That's a really good question. I'll open it up to the floor. Let's get a photo of Zirkzee up there. Who would I compare him to? Who's a big playmaker? Trying to think of it like in a United sense. Just like overall, he kind of plays. He's got that sort of natural bit of Berbatov quality about him. But no one played like Berbatov. I think still nobody has ever played like Berbatov. Extremely unique skill set. Yeah, Jason, you remember that? You remember that from the video? Thiago Motta compared Zirkzee to Ronaldinho, not for the fact that he is Ronaldinho, but in terms of when he's in full flow mode, he's just really quite enjoyable to watch. The sort of player that you go and pay to watch play football. A couple of you saying Rude Hullet down there. We've got Zidane, Mark Hughes. Interesting one. A couple of you saying Norman Whiteside. Well, I didn't watch enough of him. Fellaini meets Berbatov. If Fellaini had a baby with Berbatov, I think it's a bit unfair. Berbatov and someone else. I see a couple of you mentioning Pogba down there. No, I don't think Pogba either. I don't quite know. I'll be honest, and that's why I titled that video exactly how I titled that video. He's got a unique skill set, and we're starting to see it come through now. But going back to it here, that was a lovely game of football. That was the most I've enjoyed watching United in some time. You saw that from that skill that Zirkzee did to Mazraoui nutmegging someone 30 seconds later. Old Trafford was sort of like G'd up. It was like, let's get a goal. No, let's get another one. Let's not sit back at 3-1. No, let's just go forward. Let's get another one. That's what United kept doing. And it worked. And of course, they had 10 men. It doesn't matter. Like United haven't done that. United haven't done that in some time, man. I hope that is a game which can be used as maybe like a bit of a platform as an example for what we can do for the rest of the season. Like, I know that it can be better as soon as we sign a better right wing back, a striker who can score goals, a more powerful central midfielder. They're your three main signings. Yeah, it will be better next season. But it doesn't have to be like a war of attrition until the summer. It doesn't have to be that. You can play better. You can express yourself. Old Trafford doesn't have to be a place that you are scared shitless to go in. Old Trafford, and that's what Old Trafford was last night. Instead of it being a burden, it was a buzz. That's how the players played. That's why it felt different. And that's why I enjoyed it so much. I don't know whether it's going to be a tipping point game, Stephanie. If I'm honest, I don't think it will. I don't think there will be any tipping point games this season. I'm sort of expecting United to keep sort of stumbling. But yeah, that was just fun. That's what yesterday was. It was fun. Darkcraft saying, isn't Zirkzee too casual? Well, he's not too casual, but as Amorim said, he feels like he could be a little bit more direct. Instead of thinking the sexiest way to do it, thinking the most direct way to do it. It's like, when Ronaldo, when he was at United, was a winger. Yeah, he played centrally at times. But when he went to Real Madrid, he was like, I've got all that skills. I can do everything on that left-hand side. But if I just bring myself centrally, I could probably score more goals. And then he just became the most prolific goal scorer of all time. Now, I'm not saying that Zirkzee is going to do that. But it's just the idea that what looks great and gets you excited as a player might not give you the final output that you need as a top-level footballer. So maybe Zirkzee's just going to have to occupy different positions or adapt his game slightly to be more direct. And maybe that would help him create more chances and get more goals. I don't quite know. Old Trafford was class last night. Apart from the pyro. I'm glad they can laugh about that, because that could be something they'd be really pissed off at. I'll ask you quickly before you go into the map, right? What do you think is going to happen on Sunday? Leicester absolutely poop under Van Nistelrooy. Are they relegated yet? Or is there any chance that they can sneak out of that bottom three? Let's have a look. Go away. What a stupid website. Right. Yeah, there is. They can somehow drag Wolves into it. Do they play Wolves? Don't know. Wolves play Southampton now. So that's a pretty damn easy game for Wolves. You're pretty much at last knock-ins for Leicester, really. They're going to have to get some wins. What's your predictions? Get it in the comments. 3-0 says Kevin. 3-1, two Kevins there. Double kick. Kevin! Leicester losing 2-1 says Jonathan. 4-1 United. 4-0 says Paul. Yeah, it is a dumb-ass kickoff time. 7 p.m. on a Sunday. I don't think I ever remember watching United at 7 p.m. on a Sunday. Did it happen once this season already? It might have done. It's a real stinky kickoff time, especially for anybody going to that game. Then you're stuck in Leicester, which is a good away day. And then you're in Leicester at like 10 p.m. on a Sunday. You're like, come on. Night, you're going 3-1. 3-0 says Eric. 3-1 says Teresa. 2-0 win says Rob. And we'll find out, right? I'll give you my prediction in the lunchtime video tomorrow, because we was a bit busy today. All right, we got to talk about the game last night. But it's Friday, so do not forget this match day. Yeah, you're saying it's because of the League Cup. I've never said a bad word against Newcastle in my life, ever. I've always been supportive of that football club and everything that they stand for. So if you can just do a job this weekend, Newcastle, and just do the job, all right? You've already lost the League Cup final once. You don't need to do it twice. All right? Just one job. One job. Not for Anthony Gordon, though, because he's banned. Speaking of one jobs, let me know where you're watching from, peeps. Right? The town and the city and the country. And I'll get a few of you added onto the fabled United People's TV map. I need to get the map song back. I lost it all. Damn. They did. I was at Fulham away on a Sunday. Yeah, I thought there was once earlier this season. That's what's happened to United twice. 7 p.m. on a Sunday and both away. Nutty. Noah watching from Soufrière, St. Lucia. Soufrière. There you go. Discover Soufrière. No, Soufrière, St. Lucia. Ha. On the map you go, sir. Oh, madame. We've got We've got King Texas watching from Montego Bay in Jamaica. I'd love to go to Jamaica. Damn it. Every single time I do this, I just get FOMO that I'm not traveling. At some point. Unfortunately, you're all a bit important and I can't leave this studio much. Totally honest. We've got one more. It's Razvan watching from Brasov in Romania. Right. I'm going to wrap that up. That was a heck of a week here on United People's TV. Oh, and personally as well. I forgot about that absolute prick in my flat. Oh, man, I just remembered that. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for the birthday messages yesterday. And thank you to United for a birthday performance. 4-1 winners. I'm going to run through the key talking points and the identity that we saw last night. It's not anything groundbreaking. It's what we've all been saying, but we saw it. A glimpse of the future, and hopefully something we can see more of between now and the end of the season. I'll run through that today. Tomorrow we'll have the Leicester 11. Sunday we'll have the Leicester game. And then Monday we'll be back here live and direct. Have a cracking weekend, everybody. Please do drop a like on the video. If you haven't already listened to it as well, go on Spotify and listen to the United Daily Podcast. It's a nice condensed version of this show. So if you don't have time to, tune in here, you can listen to that. That was your early birthday present, Sam. Getting the rat out of your flat. It's true enough. And it was just, I'll be honest, it was hard to see positives given the state that he left my flat in. And having to deal with everything for 2 years and then now having to clean up after this rat. It's tough. Yeah, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And I'm very much looking forward to it just being a bad story and a bad memory that I can talk about. But now I've got to clean the whole gaff up and sell it. Thank you all for just being here, being great, and have a cracking weekend. Take it easy.